Alright, we're going to do a timeline now. History timeline. On the Middle Ages, if it's 8th grade, it'll be United States history. Student timeline activity. Each student will be given a date. I'll call off a date out loud. I'll write it onto the board. You'll be able to see the date come up with your name. You write down that date. Each student will look up that date in their textbook. Find out where you can find that date and look it up. Each student will write a short sentence about what makes that date important. So you figure out what's important about that date. Each student will write that date in the big numbers on the front of the paper. You get a piece of paper, you write it on it. Under that date, each student will write with big letters what happened on that date. Examples on the next slide. Let me show you how it should look. So there's the date, put in big numbers, 1492 AD, okay? So you're going to put down big numbers, and then you're going to write Columbus sailed to the West Indies and discovered America. All right, there you go. Something short. That's like about 8 or 9 words. You want to keep it short and tell us what happened. Okay? Students will write the date and the same description of what happened on the back of the paper. It doesn't have to be big, but you have to write it on the back side too. It's basically the date you have and what happened. Okay? Students will read off the back of the page later, both the date and the event. They're going to read it out loud because you see we're going to be recording it. Timeline cards. That's your timeline card that you just did. Now, students will exit the classroom with their cards. You're going to have your cards done, front and back side. We're going to leave. Students will find the chalk written timeline outside. We're going to have a chalk timeline. I'll put it on the ground there. It'll say 0 to 2000 finally. And you're going to kind of be just, we'll look at it. We're going to figure out where you're going to stand. Students will look at each other's dates and find the place where they fit in the timeline. Find 2 students whose numbers are closest to your number. One is less than your number and one is above. So let's say you have 1492 and someone has 1507. And someone has 1477, that's the closest to you. Then that 77 goes before you, towards the 0 side, and the other one goes on the other side after you, and that's going to be towards the 2000 side. So each one, you got to look at each other's numbers and figure out where you're supposed to be. That's where you get some points for being able to figure out where you belong. Yeah, that's the outdoor timeline. When everybody gets in place, from the lowest to the highest, then I know you guys got it right. We'll time you and see which class does the best. One student will be chosen to be the camera person. They'll start at the lowest number. The camera person will say action. And the first student will read their date and what happened. Do it slowly so we got it, but take your time and say what it is. 1492. Columbus discovered America by sailing to the West Indies. There you go. Make it simple. The camera person will record each student until they reach the end of the timeline. Okay? At the end, the camera person will check to see if the footage is okay, everything went all right, they didn't make a mistake, and then they'll stop. That's the camera person. Okay? Once back in the classroom, the camera person will show the video. After the video is aired, the camera person will airdrop the video to anyone in the class, or everyone in the class. Everybody should get a copy of it. Students will use the student timeline to complete their own timeline in the packet for homework. So you're going to use this timeline and you just copy it basically and put it on the one in your packet so you have it done. Okay? That's it.